People don't truly fall in love with your face, your job, or the words you say, not when it comes to real love, because love at its core is energy, it's presence. And when you strip away all the surface appearances, achievements, charm, there are only two reasons someone deeply connects with you. Either they feel seen or they feel safe. Everything else fades, looks change, words get forgotten, even status loses its shine. But the feeling of being truly understood or emotionally protected, that stays. That's what people carry with them. That's what makes them come closer, and ultimately what makes them stay. If you know what it is you naturally offer, whether it's the ability to see someone clearly or to create a sense of safety, you'll start to understand the kind of impact you leave behind. And of the two, it's the second one, safety, that creates not just attraction, but unshakable connection. Because what really leaves a mark on someone is not what you gave them, but how they felt about themselves when they were around you. You can have success, charm, even power. But none of that matters if people don't feel more grounded, more alive, or more connected to themselves when they're with you. People don't fall in love with your story. They fall in love with how their story feels when you're in it. They're not drawn to your image, right? But to the reflection of themselves that they see through your eyes. There's something rare and unforgettable about someone who doesn't try to impress, who doesn't fill the silence with noise, but holds it with presence. A person who doesn't seek attention but earns trust through stillness. That kind of energy is magnetic, not because it demands anything, but because it reassures. And in a world where most people walk through life guarded, performing, playing roles, and hiding parts of themselves to be liked, it's disarming to meet someone who sees through it all, who listens without trying to fix, who looks at you without judgment, and who just lets you be. The irony is that we spend so much of our lives trying to be liked, to be interesting, to be enough in the eyes of others. But what truly makes people fall in love with us isn't our confidence, intelligence, or charm. It's our presence, our ability to simply be there without needing to control, entertain, or impress. It's being the calm in their chaos, the stillness in their storm. People aren't drawn to perfection. They're drawn to presence, the kind of presence that says, you don't have to perform here. You don't have to explain yourself. You're safe. When someone feels safe to unravel in front of you, to cry, to stumble, to speak without filtering, that's when real connection begins. Not because you have the answers, not because you can fix them, but because you don't try to. You don't turn away. You don't fill the silence with solutions or distractions. You let them feel what they're feeling, and you hold space for it. That's what most people are starving for, whether they realize it or not. Not advice, not perfection, just someone who can sit in the quiet with them and not flinch. You don't need to be someone's therapist. You don't need to be their savior, but you can be the one person who reminds them who they were before life told them to hide it. That kind of connection isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's subtle, sacred, and unforgettable. And when you become that person, the one who sees without judging, listens without reacting, and loves without demanding, people don't walk away. They come closer. Not because they need something from you, but because your energy brings them back to themselves. So stop chasing love by trying to be more successful, more charming, more entertaining. Love doesn't find the one who tries the hardest. It finds the one who's most grounded in who they are. The one who doesn't panic when things get messy. The one who can sit with truth, with pain, with silence, and not try to change it. That's who we remember. That's who we trust. Because in the end, people won't remember your resume, your jokes, or how impressive you seemed in the room. They'll remember how they felt when they were in your presence. Safe, seen, real. That's what makes love stay. Here's the part no one really teaches, but everyone feels. The way you treat yourself becomes the instruction manual for how others treat you. It's not about what you say. It's about your energy, your consistency, your choices. People notice more than you think. They feel it when you speak to yourself with kindness or with judgment. They feel it in how you carry your body, how you handle your time, how you respond to discomfort. They notice when you say yes to things that drain you, when you tolerate what you said you never would, when you laugh at yourself in ways that reveal hurt instead of confidence. These aren't red flags they consciously spot. They're emotional cues that say this person doesn't fully value themselves. They compromise their own peace. They don't protect their boundaries. And even if the people around you can't name it, they feel it and they respond to it. You teach people how to love you by the way you love yourself. If you respect your time, they learn to respect it too. If you take care of your mind, your body, your space, they begin to honor those things alongside you. If you speak calmly, directly, with self-respect, they stop pushing your limits and start listening to your presence. And most of all, if you carry yourself with quiet dignity, not arrogance, not insecurity, but that calm certainty that says, I know who I am and I don't need to explain it, people either rise to meet you or they walk away. Either way, you win. Because the people who stay will be the ones who are ready to meet you where you are, not where you shrink. But when you abandon yourself, even in small, subtle ways, when you lower your standards just to keep someone around, when you tolerate being disrespected because you're scared to be alone, when you lie to yourself about what you want just to keep the peace, others follow that example. They test you more. They take more. They stop respecting your boundaries, not because they're cruel, but because you've shown them that you don't fully honor them either. And that's when something in you begins to fade. That's when your confidence erodes. Not all at once, but moment by moment. Every time you betray your own values, because every word, every choice, every boundary kept or broken sends a message, not just to others, but to your own subconscious. And when you consistently live in a way that dishonors your own center, your self-worth slowly slips away. But the opposite is also true. When you live in alignment, even when it's hard, your confidence becomes unshakable. When you protect your peace, when you move with intention, when you speak truth, even when your voice shakes, you build a relationship with yourself so strong that no one else gets to define your worth. That kind of energy is rare. That kind of presence is magnetic, not because it begs for attention, but because it doesn't need it. So stop chasing people. Stop shrinking to be accepted. Stop softening your voice so others don't feel uncomfortable. If someone can't hold your truth, they're not meant to hold your love. And if someone walks away the moment you finally show up for yourself, let them. You weren't born to bend just to make others comfortable. You were born to stand. And the people who are meant for you, they won't ask you to fold in order to fit. Start treating your time, your focus, your body, your space like it matters, because it does. Start choosing silence that heals over noise that distracts. Learn to sit with yourself, not as punishment, but as a declaration. I am enough company for my own peace. Because if you can't be with yourself, you'll keep looking for people to fill a space that only self-respect can hold. And you'll wonder why they always leave. They leave because they were never yours. They were temporary lessons, not permanent partners. But once you stop chasing and start becoming, everything changes. You stop fearing solitude. You start honoring your energy like oxygen. You stop craving highs and start falling in love with calm. And when someone meets you there, someone who doesn't disturb your stillness but adds to it, you'll know, because you won't have to beg for their love. You'll feel it in their presence, in their consistency, in their joy, just to exist beside you. No drama, no games, no trying to fix or be fixed, just two people showing up fully, respectfully, and whole. So here's your final reminder. Stop chasing. Start aligning. The more you value your own energy, the more clearly others feel it. Because energy doesn't lie. It either nourishes or it drains. It either anchors or it pulls. And when your energy is calm, clear, and whole, it becomes a light others are drawn to. Not because it gives them something, but because it reminds them of something they forgot they had. You weren't put here to be chosen. You were put here to choose yourself so completely that only those who truly respect peace, presence, and alignment are allowed into your life. Let that be your legacy.